Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you exactly how I achieved this custom paint job for my Aerial Gundam using only Hyro paints and products. From the bold metallics, the gradients, and the electric lightning effects, I'll break down every step so you can recreate this look or add your own twist to it. But before we dive in, a huge thanks to Hyro Paints for making this video possible. If you're looking to level up your Gunpla painting, Hyro Paints has got you covered. In this video, I'll guide you through everything, from prepping your kit, layering those gradients, and painting those striking lightning details, all the way to the finishing touches that bring it all together. Whether you're new to painting Gunpla or looking to step up your game, this tutorial has everything you need. So grab your brushes, airbrush, and let's get started. Before we start painting, we need to prep the Gunpla. For this custom paint job, the preparation process is a bit different from the usual. Instead of completely disassembling the kit into individual pieces, I've only separated it by limbs: legs, arms, chest, waist, and head. This is because the gradient needs to be smooth and cohesive across each section, and having the parts assembled per limb ensures the colors blend seamlessly. If you were to paint the parts individually, the gradients wouldn't line up properly when you reassemble the kit. I also made a design choice here. For the armor pieces that will be painted in the Cosmos style, I decided not to rescribe any panel lines. However, for the half that will be painted in metallic, I did rescribe the panel lines. This makes the details pop and gives that side a sharper, more mechanical look to contrast with the cosmic theme. For rescribing the panel lines, I'm using the SAB panel liner 0.2mm. If you're new to panel line scribing or want to improve your technique, I've got you covered. Check out my playlist all about panel line scribing. It's packed with tips, tricks, and tools to help you get started. Before we start priming, it's crucial to clean the parts. This helps remove any oils, dust, or grime left over from handling. You can either wash the parts with soapy water or use a quick method like wiping them down with a wet wipe. Once the parts are clean, attach them to alligator clips for easy handling while painting. This also ensures you can coat the parts evenly without touching them. For this build, I'm using Airbrush Gloss Black Primer. PLAS stands for Primerless Lacquer Acrylic Series. Hyro designed this paint to work without a primer, but I still recommend using one for better adhesion and smoother results, especially for a detailed custom paint job like this one. This gloss black primer will give us a smooth reflective base that's perfect for both the metallic and cosmic effects we'll be painting later on. Now that the priming is done, I'll start painting the metallic side of the build. I'm beginning with the internals or inner frame, and for that I'm using Airbrush Sub-Zero Armor. This is a dark metallic with a subtle blue tinge that's perfect for Gunpla. It gives the parts a nice heavy look like real metal, and it's easily one of my favorite metallics to use. Since Hyro's Plus paints are pre-thinned, there's no need to worry about thinning ratios. Just shake the bottle, pour it straight into the airbrush, and you're ready to spray. For the armor parts, I'm switching to Hyro Plus Aluminum. The aluminum gives the armor a clean, polished finish that contrasts beautifully with the cosmic style we'll be painting on the other side. Next, we'll paint some parts gold, particularly around the chest area. For this, I'm using Hyro's Premium Metallic 24K Gold. This paint uses ultra-fine pigments and a two-part formula to produce a highly realistic metallic effect that's perfect for Gunpla. Now, I know a two-part formula might sound intimidating, but it's actually super simple. Just mix 6 units of part A with 1 unit of part B. For example, 6 drops of part A to 1 drop of part B. Mix them together thoroughly in a separate container before pouring it into your airbrush cup. This ensures everything is blended properly for a smooth spray. Hyro even provides measurement markers on the bottles to make it easy, so don't be intimidated by the mixing process. It's really straightforward. The ultrafine pigments in this 24K gold gives the parts a rich, realistic shine that perfectly complements the metallic side of the build. Now that the metallic side is done, let's move on to the cosmic side. My airbrush of choice for priming and painting is the Harder & Steenbeck Infinity CR Plus with a 0.5 needle. I'm running the PSI at 30, which is higher than the recommended 15 to 20 PSI. I prefer this because it helps prevent clogging, especially during priming and top coating. And since I can control the airflow directly from the airbrush, the exact PSI isn't really a big deal for me. The most important step for this cosmic style is priming. Since I'll be painting the entire limb to create a seamless cosmic effect, it's crucial to spray evenly, ensuring I get into all the nooks and crannies. This way, no part is left unprimed or unpainted. After applying the black primer and letting it dry, the first color I'll be using is Plus Reef Blue. For this style, the technique is key. I'm spraying Reef Blue in random spots and areas on the parts, leaving some sections black for the next color. The goal here isn't full coverage, but to create a layered dynamic base. Now that the Reef Blue is down and we have that rich base, it's time for the next layer, Plus Berry Red. This is where things start to get interesting because we're going to create a nice smooth gradient between the colors. Don't worry too much about perfection. You want some areas to be heavier on the berry red while others maintain more reef blue. Now that the berry red layer is dry, you might notice that the colors aren't as vibrant as we'd like them to be. The black primer has dulled things down a bit, and while it looks okay, the two colors could be more smoothly blended. So to take things to the next level, we'll use Hyros Power Paints and Ink Masters. Power Paints are specialized translucent inks that let you cover large areas quickly, but they also work as shadow enhancers, deepening the recesses of the model. On the other hand, Ink Masters are semi-translucent inks perfect for mixing and tinting. I'll start by spraying Power Paints Atomic Blue over the Reef Blue area, slightly overlapping the Berry Red. Since it's translucent, it will enhance the Reef Blue without covering it. Next, I'll use Ink Master Magenta over the Berry Red to deepen the colors and smoothen the gradient. This helps the colors blend seamlessly and adds vibrancy. As you can see, the difference is pretty striking. The colors are more vibrant and the gradient is much smoother. It's amazing what these inks can do in terms of both blending and brightening up the overall effect. Once the layers are dry, it's time to carefully disassemble the parts to paint the inner frame. This step requires extra caution as you don't want to scratch or damage the paint on the armor pieces. To ensure the painted surface is protected during this process, it's a good idea to apply a protective varnish layer. This will safeguard the cosmic effect we've worked hard to build. After varnishing, we'll move on to painting the inner frame. First, we'll prime it with gloss black primer, which will help create a smooth and shiny surface. Once the primer has dried, we'll apply Sub-Zero armor over it, giving the inner frame a sleek metallic finish that contrasts nicely with the vibrant cosmic armor. Now it's time for sub-assembly. I know it's like we're doing a bit of a back and forth process, but it's the last assembly stage before we move on to the next part. So begin by carefully assembling the pieces together by limbs, making sure everything fits perfectly. Once that's done, we're ready for the next exciting step, hand painting the lightning effects. For the lightning effect, we'll be using Hyros' latest product release, the brushable lacquers. These are the first lacquer paints specifically designed for hand painting, which is a big deal since lacquer paints typically aren't suitable for brush application. For the lightning effect, we'll be using 3 colors, canary yellow, whale blue, and later on, polar white. These colors will help create that electric dynamic look. We'll also be using LBLTC, or Leveling Brushable Lacquer Thinner Cleaner. This will help us thin the paint and clean the brushes afterward. Speaking of brushes, I typically use Kolinsky brushes for hand painting, but since we're working with lacquer paints, I'd recommend using cheap synthetic brushes. You can grab the least expensive ones as long as they have soft bristles. Synthetic brushes hold up better with lacquer paints, which tend to reactivate and ruin finer brushes. And you can kind of treat synthetic brushes as disposable ones when using it with lacquer paint. Since I can't use my wet palette here, I'm improvising with a plastic tray and some disposable palette paper. For thinning, I'm not going to add too much thinner, just a drop or two depending on how much paint I'm using. Too much thinner can cause the paints to reactivate and we don't want that. Just enough to get the right consistency for smooth controlled application. I also have a ceramic cup here or container and I'm putting a bit of LBLTC here to clean my brush when switching colors. I'm not putting too much since it tends to evaporate. For the lightning effect, we'll use canary yellow and whale blue to add variety to the lightning arcs. Start from the center or base of the area you want the lightning to emerge from and work outward, tapering the lines to create a natural branching pattern. Then use whale blue to paint some of the other lightning branches, creating blue lightning to contrast with the yellow. The combination of yellow and blue will give the effect a dynamic, multicolored look, making the lightning feel more energetic and vibrant. Once the hand painting for the lightning effect is done, we'll move back to airbrushing. To make the lightning really pop, we'll use Power Paint's Mind Reader Blue for the Whale Blue lightning and Sorcerer Yellow for the Canary Yellow lightning. With the airbrush, we'll trace each lightning bolt, carefully outlining and enhancing the colors we painted by hand. I'm using a .15 needle and setting the airbrush to 15 psi for this precise airbrushing work. This combination will allow me to create that glowing effect around the lightning. Now that we've added the glowing effect with the airbrush, it's time to move on to the final step, hand painting the polar white. This is the key to making the lightning look like it's truly glowing. We'll apply the polar white to the center of the lightning and stars, focusing on the areas where the lightning starts and at the corners. This will act as the core of the lightning, giving it that bright, intense glow. With the polar white painted, we'll finish up by applying a top coat. You can choose any finish you prefer, but I'll be using a gloss varnish for this project. The gloss varnish will enhance the vibrant colors and give the entire piece a shiny, polished look, sealing all the hard work we've done to create the cosmic effect. And that's about it. With all the painting and top coating done, it's time to move on to the final assembly. This step is always exciting because it's when all the individual parts come together to reveal the finished model. As always, handle each piece carefully during assembly to avoid scratching or smudging the paint, especially since we've put a lot of effort into creating these vibrant effects. Take your time and make sure everything is aligned properly. Now that the Gunpla is fully assembled, let's take a step back and admire the results. The cosmic effect is truly stunning. Each layer of paint and detail comes together to create a vibrant and otherworldly design. The combination of translucent colors, the glowing lightning effect, and the vibrant gradients really bring this build to life. This project was all about experimenting with almost all of Hyro's paints to achieve a truly unique finish. From airbrushing Hyro's lacquer paints to the translucent power paints and ink masters, to the hand painting with brushable lacquers, each paint played a crucial role in bringing the cosmic theme to life. The lightning effect with its glowing white core adds that extra spark, pun intended, and ties the whole look together. I hope you found this video helpful and inspiring for your own projects. Whether it's your first time trying something this detailed or you're looking to push your skills further, remember to take your time and enjoy the process. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye!